Life is a journey. Each of us begins alone, taking steps guided by our own choices, shaped by our experiences, and tested by our struggles. But at some point, two separate journeys may meet. Two individuals walking their own roads suddenly find themselves side by side. This meeting is not coincidence, it is a crossing of destinies. And when two journeys become one path, a new story is born. Life often teaches us that nothing is random. Every step, every turn, and even every stumble has meaning, though at times it may not be clear. When we speak about two journeys meeting, it is easy to think of it as coincidence, a matter of luck or chance. Yet, when we look deeper, we realize that such a meeting is more than just an accident along the way. It is a sacred intersection, a place where two separate stories begin to intertwine. Imagine two rivers flowing from different mountains. Each one has carved its own course, shaped by storms, rocks, and landscapes it has encountered. One may be calm and steady, the other wild and forceful. For a long time they travel alone, unaware that somewhere ahead their waters will join. When they finally merge, a new current is born, stronger, deeper, and more purposeful. This image is not only poetic, it is symbolic of how human lives cross. We are not merely walking parallel paths until one day we collide. Rather, we are being guided, step by step, toward the very point where our lives are meant to converge. This meeting point is sacred because it represents the culmination of everything that has happened before. The struggles we faced alone, the victories we celebrated quietly, the mistakes we thought defined us, all of these experiences were necessary to prepare us for the encounter. Had we met earlier, we might not have recognized its value. Had we met later, perhaps the moment would have slipped away. The sacredness lies not just in the meeting itself, but in the timing. Life knows when we are ready, even when we do not. Many people underestimate the weight of timing. They believe that relationships, connections, or even profound encounters are simply about desire. But desire alone cannot create alignment. True connection requires readiness, readiness of heart, mind, and spirit. When two journeys align, it is not simply because two people choose to walk together. It is because both have been shaped in such a way that they can now recognize and honor the path they share. This is why the meeting point is so precious. It signals that both lives have reached a state of openness, balance, and maturity where unity is possible. If you reflect on your own journey, you will see how every twist and turn has led you to where you stand today. There were times of loneliness, when walking alone seemed endless. There were challenges that forced you to grow stronger than you ever thought you could. There were detours that seemed like failures but turned out to be lessons. Without those seasons, you would not be the person who is able to walk this new shared path. In this way, the meeting point is not only sacred because of the other person, it is sacred because it validates your own journey. It tells you every step mattered. The sacredness also carries responsibility. Just as rivers must respect their confluence, not overpowering but blending, so too must we honor the significance of meeting another traveler on life's road. It is not about ownership, not about controlling where the path goes, but about respecting that the encounter itself has meaning. Two people do not meet just to fill empty space, they meet to create something greater than what either could achieve alone. The meeting point, therefore, is a call to awareness. It whispers, pay attention, something important is unfolding. Think of it like a temple built on the crossroads of two ancient paths. Travelers who arrive there may have been walking for days, months, or years, but upon reaching the temple, they instinctively know they have entered a sacred place. The walls may not speak, the stones may not move, yet there is a presence that makes the moment unforgettable. So too is the first true merging of two journeys. It is a temple of time carved not by hands but by destiny. And when we step into it, we realize that the journey has never been only about reaching a destination. It has been preparing us for the one who will walk beside us. Thus, the meeting point is more than an event. It is a reminder of life's deep intelligence, of the hidden order that guides us. It invites us to trust that nothing has been wasted, nothing has been random. It reassures us that even when we felt lost, we were still moving toward alignment. And when the moment arrives, it feels like recognition, as if two souls finally remember what they had always been walking toward. When two journeys unite, they do not suddenly become identical. Each traveler carries their own history, their own rhythm, their own way of seeing the world. One may have walked under clear skies where progress came with ease, while the other has endured storms where every step was a test of perseverance. These differences are not flaws. They are the unique textures of each path. When the two come together, the beauty lies not in sameness, but in balance. True harmony is not the absence of difference. It is the weaving together of contrasts into a pattern that is stronger and more meaningful. Consider the sun and the moon. The sun gives light, warmth, and life to the earth during the day. The moon, by contrast, offers calmness, reflection, and silence during the night. They are profoundly different, yet together they create the rhythm of existence. Without the sun, life would not grow. Without the moon, rest would not come. Their harmony arises not from similarity, but from complementing each other's nature. In the same way, when two journeys merge, it is the differences that create the balance. Human connection often stumbles when we believe that unity means agreement or that love means sameness. But two rivers flowing side by side are not the same in depth, speed, or clarity. Yet when they merge, they create a single current. Each keeps its essence, but together they move with greater strength. The lesson here is that unity is not the erasure of individuality. It is the recognition that two unique beings can walk side by side, enriching each other through their differences rather than being diminished by them. When we encounter someone whose path intertwines with ours, we are faced with perspectives that may challenge our own. Where we see limitation, they may see possibility. Where we lean toward caution, they may embody courage. Where our voice is quiet, theirs may speak boldly. These contrasts can feel uncomfortable at first, but they are the very ingredients of growth. Harmony is not about eliminating differences, it is about allowing them to coexist in such a way that they create balance. A melody without variation is dull, but when different notes blend together, music is born. To walk in harmony requires humility. It requires us to release the illusion that our way is the only way. Imagine two dancers moving together. If one insists on leading without sensitivity, the dance collapses into conflict. But if each listens, responds, and adapts, a flow emerges that is more beautiful than what either could have performed alone. Similarly, two people walking together must learn to listen not only with ears, but with the heart, recognizing that difference is not a barrier, but a rhythm waiting to be understood. There is also a deeper truth. What we lack, the other often carries, and what the other lacks, we may hold within us. One may embody patience, the other urgency. One may bring dreams, the other grounding. When combined, these qualities create a completeness that neither had before. It is like two pieces of a puzzle, different shapes, different edges, yet perfectly fitted to form a picture that would be incomplete without both. It is important to remember that harmony is an active choice. Differences can divide if they are met with resistance, pride, or fear. But if they are met with curiosity, respect, and willingness, those same differences transform into bridges. They become opportunities to expand beyond our limited view of the world. By walking alongside someone whose journey has been different, we are invited to see life through new eyes. That vision deepens our understanding, strengthens our character, and enriches our shared path. Thus, harmony in difference is not about changing who we are. It is about learning how who we are fits within the greater whole. It is a practice of balance, like the inhale and exhale of breath, the push and pull of tides, the silence and sound of music. Without one, the other loses its meaning. When two journeys unite, their differences do not cancel out. They create a dynamic living balance that makes the shared path stronger, richer, and more complete. When we walk alone, our steps follow our own rhythm. We rise when we choose, we pause when we feel tired, and we change direction without having to explain ourselves to anyone. But when two journeys merge into one path, the act of walking transforms. It is no longer a solitary rhythm, it becomes a shared movement. This requires something deeper than presence. It requires awareness. Awareness is not simply noticing that another person is beside us. It is consciously attuning ourselves to their pace, their breath, their silence, and their unspoken language. Imagine two musicians playing different instruments. If each one insists on playing without listening to the other, the result is noise. But when they listen, adjust, and allow space for each other, the music becomes harmonious. Awareness is the listening between the notes. It is the space where connection thrives. On the shared path, awareness means that we pay attention not only to our own needs, but also to the rhythm of the one who walks beside us. Walking with awareness does not mean losing yourself. It does not mean silencing your own rhythm to copy the other. Instead, it is a practice of balance, sometimes leading, sometimes following, sometimes simply walking in step. It is an act of respect, an acknowledgement that the shared path is no longer about me or you alone, but about us. This shift in consciousness is what allows two separate journeys to merge without conflict. Awareness shows itself in small, subtle ways. It might mean noticing when the other slows down, not because they are weak, but because they are observing something that matters to them. It might mean sensing when silence is needed and choosing not to fill it with words. It might mean recognizing when your own energy is pulling too strongly ahead and gently softening your pace to maintain connection. These small acts are not burdens. They are gestures of presence, reminders that you are truly walking together. To walk with awareness is also to accept imperfection. There will be times when your steps do not align, when you stumble while the other walks steadily, or when you feel strong while the other feels weary. Awareness is not about achieving perfect synchronization at every moment. It is about noticing the imbalance and adjusting with compassion, just as a bird shifts its wings to maintain flight through changing winds. Awareness allows us to adjust without judgment, keeping the shared path steady. This practice requires humility. To be aware of another person's rhythm is to admit that your own pace is not the only one that matters. Many struggles in relationships arise when one insists on moving too fast while the other cannot yet keep up. Awareness asks us to release control and allow space for both journeys to unfold at their natural pace. The goal is not to finish first, it is to walk together. There is also a spiritual depth to walking with awareness. When we attune ourselves to another person's rhythm, we learn to see beyond our own limited perception. We begin to sense the inner world of another being, their hopes, fears, and unspoken emotions. Awareness is not only practical, it is intimate. It creates a bridge where words are not always necessary, because presence itself becomes the language. Two people walking with awareness may not need to speak often, yet their silence is full of connection. Awareness also protects the path. Without it, misunderstandings easily grow. A careless word, a neglected pause, or a failure to notice the other's struggle can create distance even while walking side by side. But when awareness is present, those small moments become opportunities for deeper understanding instead of conflict. A simple gesture, waiting, listening, offering a hand, can transform a difficult step into a shared memory of strength. Ultimately, walking with awareness teaches us something profound about life itself. It reminds us that the journey is not only about moving forward, but about how we move together. Awareness deepens presence. It transforms walking into communion and the path into something sacred. It is the art of not only being aware of the ground beneath our feet, but of the soul walking beside us. Every journey carries its own weight. Sometimes it is the weight of responsibilities, family, work, duties that demand energy and attention. Other times it is the weight of inner struggles, fears, insecurities, memories that linger like shadows, and often it is the weight of dreams, ambitions, visions, and goals that pull us forward yet feel heavy when carried alone. To walk by oneself means to shoulder all of this without help. But when two journeys merge into one, something profound happens. The weight is no longer carried by one pair of shoulders alone. Sharing the weight is not only practical, it is transformational. Imagine trying to lift a large stone alone. It feels immovable, but when another set of hands reaches out, the burden suddenly shifts. It may still be heavy, but the effort becomes bearable, the strain divided. In the same way, when two lives unite, the weight of existence becomes lighter, not because the load disappears, but because it is distributed. Even more importantly, the act of sharing creates connection. Each step together says, I am not alone, and neither are you. The shared path teaches us that vulnerability is strength. Many fear showing their burdens, believing they must carry everything in silence to appear strong. Yet, when two journeys become one, hiding the weight prevents true connection. Strength is not the ability to carry everything alone. It is the courage to say, this is heavy, will you help me hold it? And it is the willingness to reply, yes, place some of it in my hands. The moment this exchange happens, the bond deepens. The path no longer feels like a lonely road, but a partnership built on trust. There is also a quiet balance in how the weight is shared. It does not mean that each person carries exactly the same amount at all times. Sometimes one will carry more because the other is tired or weakened. At other times, the roles reverse. This is not unfairness. It is the natural rhythm of companionship. Life moves in cycles, and walking together means being willing to bear more when the other falters, knowing that when your own steps grow heavy, they will do the same for you. The balance is not in the numbers, but in the willingness to exchange strength when needed. To share weight also requires awareness of invisible burdens. Not all heaviness can be seen. Some people carry wounds in silence, smiling on the outside while their hearts are weary within. Walking together means learning to sense those unseen loads, to notice the small signs of strain, and to offer presence even when words are not spoken. Sometimes sharing the weight does not mean solving the problem, but simply walking beside the other so they know they do not have to endure it alone. When burdens are shared, resilience grows. Alone, a single branch may snap under pressure, but bound together, many branches form a rope that can hold great weight. In the same way, two lives supporting each other become stronger than they could be apart. This is the paradox of unity. By giving some of your strength to another, you do not become weaker. You both become stronger. The load, once unbearable, transforms into a lesson of endurance and a story of shared courage. There is also joy in sharing dreams. Carrying an aspiration alone can feel isolating, as if the world does not understand the vision burning inside. But when two journeys unite, each person becomes the guardian of the other's dreams. They encourage, remind, and sometimes push forward when the dreamer feels like giving up. This too is a kind of weight, but when held together, it turns from heaviness into inspiration. The dream becomes not only personal but shared, doubling in energy and significance. Ultimately, the act of sharing weight is an act of love, not in the romantic sense alone, but in the universal sense of care and presence. To say, I will carry this with you, is to declare that your struggles matter to me, your burdens are not yours alone, and your journey is now my journey too. This is what makes the path of two travelers so profound. It is no longer about surviving under the heaviness of life, but about discovering the strength that comes from carrying it together. When two journeys merge into one path, the companionship is not only about support or comfort, it becomes a mirror. Walking beside another person means you no longer only see the world through your own eyes. You begin to see yourself reflected in their responses, their observations, their silences, and their truths. This reflection can be illuminating and sometimes it can be uncomfortable, but it always leads to growth. Alone. It is easy to carry illusions about who we are. We may believe we are patient until another person tests the limits of our calm. We may think we are generous until the moment comes when we must give more than we expected. We may consider ourselves strong until someone close to us sees the fragile places we have hidden. Without reflection, these areas remain unexamined. With reflection, they are brought into light. The presence of another becomes the mirror that reveals both our beauty and our unfinished edges. This process is not about criticism. It is not about another person pointing out flaws or weaknesses. It is about the natural way in which walking together brings to the surface aspects of ourselves that we might never notice alone. Just as water reflects the sky, a companion reflects the soul. They may mirror back to us our kindness, showing us how deeply our actions affect them, or they may mirror back our impatience, revealing where we need to soften. Either way, the reflection is a gift, an invitation to grow beyond who we thought we were. Growth through reflection also works in the opposite direction. As we walk, we become mirrors for the other as well. Sometimes they may see in us qualities they never realized they had within themselves. Our courage may awaken theirs. Our discipline may inspire their focus. Our vulnerability may give them permission to be more open. The shared path becomes a place where each traveler is both teacher and student, both mirror and reflection. This mutual reflection deepens self-awareness. Alone, our awareness of self is like looking at our reflection in a small pond distorted by ripples, limited by perspective. With another person walking beside us, the reflection becomes clearer, like looking into a still, deep lake. Their presence brings stability, helping us to see ourselves with greater honesty. Sometimes this is encouraging because we recognize strengths we had ignored. Other times it is challenging because we confront patterns we avoided, but always it pushes us toward growth. Reflection also teaches humility. It shows us that we are not finished, that we are constantly evolving. To accept reflection requires letting go of pride, the willingness to admit that we do not have all the answers, that we are shaped not only by our own efforts, but also by those who walk with us. This humility is not weakness, it is openness. It allows life to shape us, just as stones are smoothed by flowing water. Through reflection, our rough edges are softened and our inner strength becomes clearer. There is also a deeper beauty in recognizing that reflection is not always about change. Sometimes it is about affirmation. To see ourselves reflected in another's admiration, respect, or love reminds us of our worth. It reassures us that the qualities we strive to embody are real and that they touch the lives of others. This affirmation nourishes the spirit, making us more confident in continuing to walk the shared path. Growth, through reflection, extends beyond personal traits. It shapes our vision of the world. Walking beside someone with different experiences expands the way we perceive life. Their reflections open new windows of understanding, reminding us that our view is not the only view. Through them, we discover perspectives we would never encounter alone. This is not only growth of the self, but growth of the heart and mind. Ultimately, when two journeys merge, the gift of reflection becomes a quiet teacher. It does not shout or demand, but it consistently shows us who we are becoming. And in that awareness, we are invited to grow, to refine, to soften, to expand. The path, once about simply moving forward, becomes a journey of becoming more fully ourselves, shaped not only by the ground beneath our feet, but by the reflection of the one who walks beside us. When two journeys merge into one path, the beauty does not lie in the perfect alignment of every step. Rather, it lies in the commitment to move in the same direction, even if the rhythm is sometimes uneven. Life is not a straight road, and neither is the shared path of two people. There will be twists, climbs, descents, and unexpected detours. What matters is not that every step matches, but that both travelers remain committed to reaching the horizon together. Think of a mountain. Two climbers may begin from different points, taking different trails, encountering different obstacles along the way. Yet as they ascend, their paths converge toward the same summit. Their pace may differ, one stopping to catch breath, the other pushing forward with energy, but both share the same destination. The climb becomes meaningful not because they move identically, but because they keep their eyes on the same peak. This is the essence of walking one path, unity of purpose, even when the steps themselves are not synchronized. When two journeys combine, it is natural for differences to appear in pace. One may walk with urgency, the other with patience. One may seek adventure, the other stability. These differences can create tension if misunderstood. But when seen through the lens of a shared destination, they become complementary. The one who moves quickly reminds the slower walker not to become stagnant. The one who moves carefully reminds the faster walker to notice the details along the way. Together they create balance, a rhythm that allows progress without losing depth. The shared path is not about losing individuality. Each person still takes their own steps, shaped by their personality, background, and inner rhythm. But the direction is chosen together. It is this shared intention that transforms two separate journeys into one. Without intention, two people may walk side by side for a time, yet eventually drift apart when the road forks. With intention, even if they momentarily stray, they find their way back to the same road because the destination calls them forward. One destination, many steps. This truth also teaches patience. There will be moments when one walker feels far ahead, while the other lingers behind. Impatience may whisper, "Hurry up," or frustration may say, "Why can't you keep pace?" But walking together is not a race. The value is not in reaching quickly, but in reaching together. Sometimes the stronger traveler must slow down, allowing the other to regain strength. Sometimes the one who lingers must gather courage to catch up. In this way, the journey becomes an act of patience, of waiting and encouraging, of adjusting one's steps for the sake of unity. The shared destination also creates resilience in times of challenge. When the path grows steep or uncertain, doubt may arise. Alone, this doubt can easily become discouragement. But with two travelers committed to the same horizon, the struggle becomes more bearable. One says we can do this when the other feels weak. One points to the summit when the other cannot see it through the fog. The shared vision pulls both forward, giving strength where individual willpower may fail. Even when the terrain shifts, when life brings changes, losses, or unexpected turns, the destination holds the path steady. Two people who share one vision can adapt to new circumstances because they know what they are walking toward. The road may no longer look as they imagined, but the horizon remains the same. This shared purpose transforms uncertainty into trust and what could have been fear into an adventure. This way of walking also carries a quiet wisdom. Progress is not measured by how perfectly aligned each step is, but by how steadfastly the destination is honored. Just as two waves move differently yet both reach the shore, two people can walk differently yet both arrive at the same place. The shared path is not about erasing difference, but about uniting direction. Thus, when two journeys merge, each step becomes part of a larger rhythm, sometimes in harmony, sometimes in contrast, but always moving forward. The destination, whether it is love, purpose, peace, or growth, becomes the compass that guides them both. And in this guidance, the journey transforms from a solitary quest into a shared story, written by many steps but carried toward one horizon. When two journeys become one path, something greater than companionship is created. It is the weaving together of two distinct stories into a single narrative, where every step carries not only personal meaning but shared purpose. We have seen how the meeting point is sacred, how harmony is born from differences, how awareness allows steps to align, how burdens become lighter when carried together, how reflection shapes growth, and how many steps can still lead to one destination. Each of these truths reminds us that the shared path is not about losing ourselves, it is about expanding ourselves. To walk alone is to discover independence, but to walk together is to discover connection. Alone, we may endure, but together we learn what it means to truly live. The sacred merging of two journeys is not a limitation. It is an opening. It allows us to see further, to grow deeper, to endure longer, and to dream higher than we could ever do on our own. The path will not always be easy. There will be uneven steps, heavy burdens, and moments when harmony feels distant. Yet the essence of walking one path is not perfection, it is commitment. Commitment to awareness, to balance, to patience, and above all to the destination that calls both travelers forward. And so, when two journeys unite, the road transforms. It becomes not only a path across the earth, but a bridge between two souls. It becomes a reminder that the true beauty of the journey is not only in where we are going, but in who walks beside us as we get there.